Chapter 3, Section 4 is dealing with compound inequalities. A compound inequality is when you have two inequalities put together. Two inequalities put together. Our first one says r is greater than 2 and less than 6. And you can kind of see from there, if r is bigger than 2 and less than 6, it's in the middle. So if it's greater than 2, less than 6, we're going to write it like that. That's the r is greater than 2, and that's the r is less than 6. And we're going to have an open circle on the 2, an open circle on the 6, and then everything between those two is shaded in. Next one, r is greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 6. Same graph, only now we're going to have a colored in circle on the 2, colored in circle on the 6, and everything between those two colored in. The last two have the or. R is less than 2. Oops. R is less than 2, or r is greater than 6. And with this number line, these go in opposite directions. R is less than 2, so these are the numbers that are less than 2. R is greater than 6, and this is a 6 right here. And the other option, r is less than or equal to 2, or r is greater than or equal to 6. And the graph looks very similar, only now these are colored in. So the first couple of examples, we are just asked to graph this. Notice this is when the x is in between. So we will have an open circle on -3, a closed circle on 10, and everything between those two colored in. Number 2, x is less than or equal to a -1, or greater than 2. With the or, they go in the opposite directions. Number 3, -6 is less than or equal to x. It's less than or equal to 1. Those are both solid circles. Number 4, x is less than or equal to -2. X is greater than or equal to 4. And that's what our graphs look like. Now we need to write an inequality. This is a solid circle. Those numbers are less than or equal to -8. Or those numbers are bigger than 0. And you'll notice if your variable is on the left-hand side, this shows you which way it goes. This arrow points in the direction of this arrow. Number 6, we have -2 is less than x is less than 5. When the shading is in the middle, the variable is in the middle. Number 7, the shading is in the middle, the variable is in the middle. -9 is less than x is less than -2. And this one, these numbers are less than or equal to -3, or those numbers are greater than or equal to 2. Number 9, we're asked to write an inequality for this one. A local company is hiring trainees with less than 1 year of experience. So their experience is going to be less than 1. And the manager's situation, they have 5 years of experience, 5 or more years of experience. So their experience is greater than or equal to 5. Number 10, free chlorine in a pool is between these two, inclusive, which means it's going to be equal to, and 1 is our lower boundary and 3 is our upper boundary. Intersection is when you list only the numbers in both sets, or the numbers that are solutions to both. And union is just when you take both sets or both graphs and put them together. So, in chapter 11, or number 11 through 15, solving this, we are going to subtract 2 from both sides. -6 is less than or equal to x is less than 6. Okay, how about graphing this correctly? 4 minus 2 would be 2. So we are going to have a closed circle on the 2, an open circle on the 6, and everything between those two colored in. Number 12, first we solve this one. Add 4 to both sides, and that becomes a is greater than 5. And over here, that becomes a is less than 1. So a is greater than 5. It's going to be all these numbers here that are bigger than 5. And a is less than 1. It's going to be all these numbers here that are less than 1. 13, this middle section tells us what we need to do, and we need to add 1 to all 3 sides. And that becomes 9 is less than 3x is less than 12, less than or equal to 12. And now solving this, we have to divide all 3 sides by 3, and then we have 3 is less than x is less than or equal to 4. And we don't need to graph these. Number 14, this kind of shows us what we do. First, we subtract 3 from all 3 sides, and that becomes 6. It's greater than 2x. It's greater than or equal to -8. And then we divide all 3 sides by 2, and 3 is greater than x. It's greater than or equal to a -4. And number 15, dividing both sides by 2, x is less than or equal to 3. Dividing both sides by 3, that becomes x is greater than 4. And we also have a second set of instructions here. Tell whether each is a union or an intersection. Union is when we put both of them together. So when we have 1 here and 1 here, we put them together. This is a union. And here we have this one, here we have this one. We need both pieces, so that is a union. And then these right here are intersections, and this is the symbol for intersection. This one will be an intersection, and there's the symbol, and this one is an intersection.